Yeah, I was not here Friday. Got the message. I thought I had the flu. I had body aches and the whole thing. I was in bed, stayed in bed all day Friday. I'm like, man, this is nasty flu. So I finally went to the medical clinic and they said, okay, we'll test you for flu and COVID and strep. I'm like, it's not strep. My throat's fine. Strep throat you get to where you can't even hardly swallow. It's bad. I'm like, no. And they said, well, let's just test because you'll be surprised. Well, by golly, I had strep. It was not the flu, but it acted like the flu. It was, and the APRN, the doctor, she's like, yeah, this is a bad one. I've had this one. This strep is really, and I'm like, yeah, because I would have sworn I had the flu. I was in bad shape. And the Tylenol cold and flu medicine was making me feel better. So that, like, oh, it's got to be the flu because the Tylenol cold and flu. No, it just treats those symptoms really well, but it was strep. So I got on antibiotics, and that's what's made me better. I'm glad I finally went to the medical clinic and then just tried to wait out the flu because it wasn't the flu. I needed some antibiotics. So that's where we are today. Some antibiotics. I'll be on antibiotics for another week because you got to take them till you run out, just to make sure you've got everything in good shape. Everybody have a great Halloween then. Have a good time. Got leftover candy laying around the house now. Got something to snack on for a while. Yeah, that's the big thing. Now, see, since I didn't get to participate in any of that, my wife went out Saturday morning and got all the half price Halloween candy. So now I've got candy at the house, just like I was participating in all that this year. And I did get back to school today and had this waiting on me on my desk. So, have a little cookie treat today since I wasn't here Friday. So, okay, well, let's take a look at what we've got going on this week. Hopefully, you guys got your stuff turned in up to this point. If you had, and oh, let me talk about this before I put the screen up. I know that lots of people have not turned in the math module because I graded Thursday when I went home. I had everything graded that had been turned in. So anything you've turned in since Thursday is not graded. But if it was turned in by last Thursday, then it was graded. And when I noticed that when I turned that in, and when everyone's turned that in, I noticed there's a lot of zeros on the math module. A lot of people missing that. In fact, in this class, there's more people that haven't turned it in that have. That's not good because uh, this week we've got another program and they're starting to stack up on you. And we're in November, so time's running out. For that, I have added a helper for you. By the way, some people turned it in and got zeros because they didn't write the program. ChatGPT or another person or someone wrote the program because they're using stuff we haven't even learned. And if it's written by AI, they all look identical. And I had a whole bunch of programs turned in that look exactly like every other program. Programmers don't write things the same, but there's ChatGPT and this AI. AI has a certain way it writes programs, and you can look at it and say, "Oh, look, there's another one." Okay, no point, because I don't need to grade ChatGPT. They don't get good grades a lot of times, but I don't need to grade ChatGPT. So if you turned in one of their programs, then you didn't get any credit. And I've clicked allow retry because if you'd like to actually write the program, then I'd be happy to grade your program, but I won't grade ChatGPT's program. I don't care about it. Um, let me let me go to this. Okay, I have added. I'm going to show you this. I have added for those of you folks who's like, well, I don't have it done because I didn't know what to do. Well, that means you weren't paying attention during the lessons because the lessons have taught us everything, including the math module lesson, taught you the commands you needed to do the math module program. Maybe you're just confused on how to read the template. All right, so if you're confused on how to read the template, I have added something. Let's see, when was that? Week 11? That was before that. Here you go. Need help with the math module program? So I've got this new thing here. Here's an AI tool that you can actually use, and I will give you credit when you use this one because this will not write the program for you. So if you click on this, if you need help with the math module, let me show you what this looks like. This will open up this window, briskteaching.com. For you, it'll show you, let's see, preview the activity. It shouldn't open, this is like the teacher link, but it should open up this window for you because I'm previewing the activity. This is what it should show for you. It will have the math module template right here. Here is our assignment. Here is the program you're supposed to write. Here's all the instructions, the directions. Use Python idle. Use comments with a heading. Indent things, meaningful names of variables. Don't forget to import the math module. Create a word problem that calculates one of these shapes, volume and surface area. Make your own word problem, like a math word problem, all this stuff. So over here, you click, hi there, let's get started. Review the resource, review the learning exercise when you're ready. And when you hit let's go, this AI will now look at the assignment. And it says, hello, I'm excited to help you work on your math module assignment. We'll create, it's got more, create program to calculate the volume and surface area. Let's start by thinking about the three-dimensional object you can choose from. So it'll ask you the first thing that you should do, and it'll walk you through in good steps here. Which shape are you wanting to do? That is the first thing you got to figure out. Am I doing the cube? Am I doing the sphere? Am I doing the right cylinder? So it says, which one are you wanting to work with? What catches your attention? Why? So you're doing a chatbot conversation the whole time down here. You tell it, oh, cone, I took cone off there. Cone used to be one of the choices. Don't choose cone. I didn't put cone on there. I don't know why it still thinks cone is there. Interesting. Was there something in here that mentions the cone? I'll have to investigate that and see why it even chooses cone. But anyway, say, I want to do the cube. Tell it you want to do the cube. Or number one. It will walk you through step by step by step how to write the pseudocode. It'll help you think through. It's like, remember, you have to do this. Oh, yeah, that's right. I have to do this. It will help you go through this. It will help you write the pseudocode. It will help you write your program. It'll help you think through the steps. It's really good. I've had a couple students look at this and say, oh, yeah, it's very helpful. So this is in our Google Classroom. If you need help, if you've already got it and you nailed it, you didn't have no trouble with it, great. This is optional. This is optional. Oh, sorry. I'm going to move back up the top. This is optional. You do not have to do it. But if you need help with the math module, this may be a great thing for you to let, we want to use AI. It's going to exist. We need to use it in the right way. And this is the right way to use AI. Not go to ChatGPT and say, hey, here's my assignment. Write my program for me. No, write my program for me doesn't work. I get a 0 when that happens. But if I use AI in the correct way, like this, help me figure out how to write this program. This will do. This will help you figure out how to write your program. So just wanted to point that out. That is there now. That is there. All right, let's go look at what we're doing now. Let's see. Last week was the software development lifecycle. That was just a 5-question quiz. And a lot of you have that done. Not everyone has that done, but a lot of people. More people have done that than turned in the assignment before at the math module. But get the math module program. This week we're at the end of Module 2, the Module 2 project. If we go to our activity screen and go to the Module 2 project, we see that there's no lesson. Complete the reading in this lesson. There's no lesson. Practice using Python. Oh, the assignment template. Assignment template. Assignment's right here. Now, since it's a template and you have to answer those questions at the end, I have put the template. As always, anytime we have a program to write, when you look at the assignment, attach your zip file, go to the template in Google Classroom, write your pseudocode, and answer the postmortem questions. This is, what week is this? 3rd through 7th. Yeah, today is November 3rd. We're in November. Do this week in Buzz. Here's our project for this week. Let's look at the 2.06. Okay, now that you have an understanding of using functions and operations with numbers, numerical and non-numerical data, it's Time to show you instructing yourself what you can do. We're going to use the software development lifecycle to create a program of our choice. Now, you do have choices on this one. This assignment has 5 steps. Step 1 is planning and analysis. That's step 1 in the software development lifecycle. Read the options carefully and choose one. All right. You have option number 1, option number 2, or option number 3. So let's go through the 3 options so you can figure out which program you want to write. Do you have your eye on a new gadget, some new game, maybe some new clothes? Well, Christmas is coming. You probably got something you're got your eye on. Well, now's your chance to create a program that calculates the total cost of 3 items on your wish list, including tax and shipping. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to create a wish list by selecting 3 items. At least, you can do more. Find an online store where you can purchase these and record the price. All right, so you're going to go out and find. I want to get this, this, and this, and it would cost this, this, and this. All right. Think about what user input's required for others to use your program. Now, when you're writing this program, you're thinking about someone else using it and entering their 3 favorite things. You know what your favorite 3 things that you want and how much they cost. But you're going to write a program to where the program is asking you, okay, what's the first thing on your wish list? What's the first thing on your wish list? And you will type that in. I want some new shoes. And it'll say, what is the cost of the shoes? It'll say, what's the cost of this first item? Okay, the shoes are $120. Then it will say, what is the second item on your list? What is its cost? What's the third item on the list? And what's the cost? So there should be like 6 input statements for this because it's 3 items and 3 costs. And then think about how you're going to write an equation to calculate the subtotal. Okay, so first you're just going to get the subtotal. All of that totals $391. Then the tax and the total purchase cost with tax and shipping. So for the tax, use 6.5%. I know our tax is higher than that here, but we're just going to use 6.5%. So whatever the total is, multiply it by 6.5%, which as a decimal is 0.065. And then we're going to add a $5.99 flat rate shipping. So it doesn't matter whether the total is $50 or $500, it'll cost $5.99 to ship it. So here's what your output must include. Name each item. So list all the items that are entered. List the price of each item that's entered. What is the subtotal? The subtotal is before tax, before shipping. So list the subtotal, the total amount of tax, the shipping fee, which the shipping fee is going to be the same every time, and then the total purchase cost, adding all that together. If you want to write down your stuff and put it on your template, you can. It doesn't matter because anyone using a program, their list is going to be different. But think about it. You know, if you were writing a program for yourself to calculate this, this is what you need. All right. That's the first option. Here's option 2. Let's eat. Everyone loves eating at restaurants. So if you agree, you can take this opportunity to create a program that'll calculate the total cost of a meal. You choose an appetizer, an entree, a drink, and a dessert with a 6.5% tax and a 20% tip. We're going to tip. They must great service. We're going to tip well at 20%. Follow these steps to begin your planning. List your favorite appetizer, entree, drink, and dessert. So do your research. So you can put those here if you want to. You don't have to use this table. I don't look at this. But if you want a place to just put your information down, do your research, find the menu for your favorite restaurant, put down what the prices be. Think about what the user input would be required for others to use your program. Again, for this one, you're going to have 4 inputs for the items and then 4 inputs for the prices. What appetizer would you like? I would like the chicken Alfredo. Okay, what's the cost of that? It's $8.99. What entree we had? I want the lasagna. What's the cost of that? $16.99. What drink would you like? Give me some sweet tea. That'd be 250. What dessert would you like? Give me the cheesecake. Be $6 or whatever. So you'd have inputs for each of those with the price. Then you'll write the equation to calculate the subtotal. And then the tax and the tip. So here's what you must have as your output. Look at this. It's almost writing the pseudocode for you here. Here's what your output should have. Name of appetizer, entree, drink, and dessert, including the prices. Your subtotal, total tax, total tip, and the total cost of the meal. That's option 2. Option 3, if you want to journey the road less traveled and create your own program option, go for it. But it must calculate something. Should be using the operations and functions we've learned how to calculate. And you must output the following: item names and values and the results of the calculations. Like maybe you want to do a mini vacation, calculate the total cost of a 2-day, 1-night vacation, which includes airfare, lodging, and 2 meals each day. Or coupon, total percentage of savings on 3 different grocery items. Or total profit or loss of a stock over 5 days for a person who owns 1,000 shares of stock. What's the price each day? So it should be multiple inputs and calculations, but this kind of leaves it open to do. If you want to do something besides shopping items or a restaurant menu, you can do your own. It just has to do the same type of things. Inputs, items with prices, calculations, totals. All right, so that is the 3 options. Step 2 is the design. It's time to design your program by writing the pseudocode. Once you plan what you want to do, now we're going to write the pseudocode. Define your main function. Make sure you have the input statements, at least 3. Here's the key. You got to have at least 3. I should highlight that and underline. You have at least 3 numerical values. Make sure you use integer or float, whichever is appropriate. Calculations required. Make sure you use proper order operations, any appropriate math functions. Clear and well-organized output. Make sure you use the string function in your print statements when you need it. Here's where your pseudocode goes. Ding, 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 ding. All right, after you write your pseudocode, code the program using idle. Make sure you have the comments with your name, date, and description. Make sure you indent things properly. Meaningful names for all variables. Here is a couple of sample outputs. Time to shop Etsy. What 3 things do you want? I want the brass duck bookends. They're $55.75. The crocheted flamingo at $25. The embroidered bow tie at $34.98. Here's the subtotal. Here's the amount of tax. Here's the shipping. Here's the order total. Thank you for shopping. So there's option 1, your wish list. Here's someone that did their own little mini vacation one. It's time for a mini vacation. Your vacation expenses to St. Augustine, Florida. Airfare $378.19, hotel $165.20, meals $144.85. Here's your total. Enjoy your trip. Make sure you save your program and submit that. This time we broke up the questions. Testing. You need to run your code and evaluate the output. You should test it, right? Make sure is it calculating correctly. When you run your program and enter those numbers, enter easy numbers if you need to. $10, $5, $1. Does it add it up right? Does it say it's $16? Does it calculate the tax correctly? Does it add the $5.99 shipping? You can test it with different numbers just to make sure it works. And then here's our 4 questions that we normally have. All right, that is it. Once again, since I did this for the math module, do you need help with this week's program? I have the same option right here. Again, this is optional. You click on that. It will take you, once again, if you need help. If you can do it without help, that's fine. You don't have to use this. It's optional. Here it is with this week's program, the same tool. Hi there, let's get started. It'll review the resource. Click Let's Go when you're ready. Here is the same thing, and it will start out just like the math module will say, okay, which option are you choosing? It'll help you think through the steps needed to do this. Again, optional. You don't have to use this. But if you like it, use it. It's AI that can help you think through the steps and help you do the pseudocode, help you write your program. So I'm giving you this tool, um, and I'll tell you, if you think you'll like it, use it while you can. Right now, right now, our school district is testing two different AI things. Like this is one of them. I looked at the other one. It does different things. There's a lot of stuff to help teachers, less stuff to help students. This is something that really helps students because it will walk you through the assignment. Um, if you use this, just give me some feedback on it because the school has paid for this and a different program through the end of December. And they say, we're going to test it. So they've subscribed to this, right? They paid the money to get the good stuff. And one of them they will drop at the end of December. They'll say, okay, there's not many people using that one, or people don't find that one helpful. But it's going to be based on the feedback they get. So if I have lots of you using this, or even a few of you using this, and you say, hey, this is really helpful, it does this, this, and this, email me that feedback because I will forward that to the people. I don't know who's making the decision yet, but when they ask for feedback, is this useful? Is that useful? I want to give them feedback if this is helping you to let them know. Yes, this has been very beneficial. The tutoring function helps the students walk through the assignments. It's very good. They really like that, and it's been very beneficial. And then we can get this into January in the next semester. So we just need to know, is this worth the school investing in next semester? So we've only got it this semester. Again, if you don't need this and you can write the program without it, that's great. This is not for you, right? This is for the students that are having trouble figuring out exactly what they need to do and need some help stepping through there and don't have time to come to see Mr. Brock in asynchronous days, right? You got something else going on, or you want to work on this in the evening or the weekend, right? That's great because this will help you 24 hours a day. I'm not here 24 hours a day. So that is there for you guys. And I hope it's great. I hope you love it and say, wow, Mr. Brock, this is what we need. I hope the school continues it then if it is that helpful. If you get there and say, oh, it's just a waste of time. I was there an hour and I didn't get nothing done. I didn't figure anything out. Okay, then let me know that too. Then it's like, I don't want to waste your time. I want something to help you, not hurt you. So, all right, but that's all we got. No lesson. We're wrapping up the second module. That's going to be it. Then we have one more module to get through. I think we're just doing one more module before the end of the semester, but we want to get all of this done and move on. And man, Thanksgiving's just a couple of weeks away. We're almost there, guys. How are we supposed to put the pseudocode somewhere on the assignment? Okay, on the pseudocode, let's talk about that. Because, yeah, if you got this other thing going on, if I'm using this activity to help me, it's asking me questions over here. It's asking me questions over here, and I'm answering questions over here. I'm having a chatbot conversation like over here. I've already started. I'm chatting with it. But I still go back to my template. Where's the template? I still go back to my template, and I write my pseudocode right here. That other screen's just going to ask me, what would your first line of pseudocode be, or whatever. It'll say something like that. And you say, print the description of, the store, or say what restaurant it's at. And it'll say, that's great. If you get the right pseudocode, you come here and you put your first line of pseudocode right here. You type it on the template. You still need to fill out the template. This just helps you think through the template. This has the template here, but don't, typing on this, it doesn't even let you type on this. Say, oh, wait, maybe it will let me type on this. No, I think it just highlights it. It just highlights it. I can't type on here. I type it, but I have both of them open. I have the template and this. And this is just a conversation that helps me go through the steps as I fill out all my information and write my pseudocode. So the pseudocode will go on your template. There will be a place for that there. But if you need help figuring out what your pseudocode is, that's what that other screen is for, that boost activity. And it'll help you figure out what am I putting there. So, all right. And if that just confuses you, the other thing, then maybe you're better off without it. But I think it's been useful. I've had some students look at it, and Programming 2 used it last program. Some of the students used it, and they said, oh, yeah, it was actually pretty useful. It asked me good questions, and it guided me where I needed to be. So, all right. Well, we don't have a lesson. I don't have to keep you guys. If you want to start working on this before your next class, you're free. But otherwise, we're done because this is just the assignment week to wrap up the math module that we've looked at. So you guys have a great week. If you need me, this is a B day, so we only have class on Wednesday this week. And otherwise, I'll see you next week if I don't see you Wednesday.